Hello dear students, today we are going to study the new concept or a new unit, that is third unit, time series. Introduction of a time series. In these days, okay, the most important task before economist and businessmen is to forecast the future performance of the business or to forecast the future behavior with the past behavior. It means this time series analysis will be helpful for us to evaluate or to analyze the future performance of the business also, and to know the future performance of any kind of business enterprises and also economy. So that's why this unit is introduced to analyze the future performance or to analyze the future production also, to analyze the future profit also. So that's why they introduced this chapter, that is time series. Let us we will move on to the meaning of time series. It's so simple and it's so easy, okay, for remembering. Meaning is nothing but, okay, arrangement of, okay, time series meaning, okay, arrangement of statistical data in a chronological order, okay, in a chronological order is known as time series. Okay, once again, meaning of a time series, okay, arrangement of statistical data in a chronological order is known as time series. You can also write it as, okay, or arrangement of statistical data in accordance with the time is also known as time series. There are two meanings are available for you. Okay, you can write any one of these two. Okay, first one also easier and second one is also easier. If they ask write the meaning of time series, then you can write it as arrangement of statistical data in accordance with the time is known as time series, or arrangement of statistical data in a chronological order is also known as time series. Okay, which one is, okay, easier for you? Okay, you can write it as. Then move on to the definition of a time series. So simple, okay, according to Maurice Hamburg, okay, according to Maurice Hamburg, a time series is a set of statistical observations. Okay, what this is that? Okay, a time series is a set of statistical observations arranged in chronological order. Okay, it's so simple to remember the definition of a time series. Okay, once again, a time series is a set of, okay, statistical observations arranged in a chronological order is known as, okay, is called as, okay, time series according to Maurice Hamburg. And the second one is so simple, according to Croxton and Cowden, a time series consists of, okay, a time series consists of data arranged chronologically. So it is only a one line, okay, definition, okay, given by Croxton and Cowden. Okay, once again, a time series consists of data, okay, arranged chronologically, okay, it's called, okay, time series according to Croxton and Cowden. Then we will move on to the some important concept in the time series, the essential requirements of a time series. It means as per the requirement of a time series, okay, they given some important notes or important concept relating to time series analysis. First one, the essential requirements, as far as possible, okay, the time gap between the various values or various, okay, informations should be, okay, equal. It means whenever the data are given for time series analysis, the gap between the values given in the problem that must be equals to, that must be equal. Suppose they given, okay, 2 yearly says that, okay, here they given, okay, I taken some, okay, examples for that, okay, they given, okay, the data relating to 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. It means they should give in a chronological order. Okay, it means the data. Okay, it must consist of a homogeneous data. It means if we are going to forecast the future sales, then the data must be relating to sales. They must be. If we are going to forecast the future profit, then the relating data must be related to the profit only. Okay, it means the data. Okay, it means whatever the data mentioned in the problem or whatever the data furnished or given, that data must be related to the analysis of a time series. It means the data should not be beyond the limits or beyond the things. And one more thing, data must be available for a longer period of time. It means it will be more easier for analysis of the future performance. Then only it is possible. And the time gap between the data must be equal. And the last one in this, they given a graphic representation. A graphic representation of a time series data is called histogram. They asked one marks question in the annual examination. What is histogram? Then a graphic representation of time series data is called histogram. Then the next concept is uses of a time series. I already explained what are the uses of a time series. It will be helpful for us for analyze the future performance or analyze the or forecast the future activities of the business, and it also helps to understand the behaviors with the help of past behavior. We can also judge or we can also analyze the future behaviors of the organizations. And it is helpful for us for comparison of data of one period to another period. We can compare. And last one, we can evaluate the progress of the organization or progress of the activities or the progress of the sales, production, whatever things. Then we will move on to the next concept. Methods of measuring secular trend. There are some components are there relating to time series analysis, but these components are more helpful when we are takes classes regularly. But the concept is too heavy, so we are now going to directly the methods of measuring secular trend. There are 4 measures of a secular trend. The first one is graphical method, and second one is semi-average method, and third one is moving averages method, and fourth one least squares method. But now I am going to explain and solve some problems relating to third trend, that is moving averages method, and the last one, fourth one, least squares method, because the first 2 methods requires graph, and it is also difficult for you also to draw a graph with the help of these informations. So we will move on to the solving some problems relating to third one, moving average method and least square method. So take an example relating to moving average method. Usually the period of a moving averages are the normally or usually the period of moving averages are 3 yearly moving averages, 4 yearly moving averages, or 5 yearly moving averages are there, or monthly moving averages are there. Let us see with some solve some one problem relating to 3 yearly moving averages. So calculate 3 yearly moving averages for the following data. They given year and sales in thousands. If they mention 3 zeros, then it is considered as thousands. If they mention double zero, then it is considered as in hundreds. They given this much of information for you, and you have to calculate, okay, 3 yearly moving averages. So let us move on to the calculation. They given, okay, 10 years, okay, 1995, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003 and 2004. Then sales relating to that year, okay, 86, 63, 45, 58, 43, 57, 98, 100, 120, 150. Okay, make some correction in that, okay. Whatever the information given in the problem, okay, at the time of solving such question, okay, they taken, okay, different figures in that. So better to take the solved figures. They given, okay, please see the question. Okay, they given sales 86, 63, 45, 43, 57, 57. But at the time of calculation of a 3 yearly moving averages, they changed the data relating to sales. So better to take data given in the solution, then only it will be correct. Okay. So make a changes according to the solution, okay, in the textbook. Given 50. Then first step is, first you have to, okay, calculate 3 yearly moving totals. Okay, 3 yearly moving totals. How I solved some examples on that. Okay, 3 yearly moving averages. How to calculate a 3 yearly moving total? Take, okay, 3 years first. Okay, 1995, 1996, 1997 sales are, okay, here 1995, 96, 97, okay, sales are 86, 63, 45. Then we have to add 3 years sales. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3 ವರ್ಷದ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 95 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 96 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 97 ದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. 86 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 63 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 45. Okay, 3 years by considering, okay, 3 years sales, which is the middle year of these 3 years. Then 96 is the middle year of 95 and 97. So you have to write the totals of the sales of these 3 years in the middle of 96. It means the total, okay, 86 plus 63 plus 45, total is 194. Okay, the middle year of these 3 years are 96. So write the total of the 3 year moving total, okay, in the particular, okay, row, that is 96. Okay, then 194. Then we, in the same manner we have to, okay, calculate the 3 year moving total up to, okay, 2004. Then now we need, okay, total of, okay, leave first year, okay, 1995 you have to leave that year and consider 96, 97, 98. So 96, 97, 98 and 3 years sales are 63 plus 45 plus 58. Okay, in these 3 years 97 is the middle year, so the total of sales, okay, 166 will be written, okay, in the particular row, that is 166. Then leave 96. Then consider, okay, 97, 98, 99. Then these 3 years sales are considered. So 45 plus 58 plus 43. Okay, then the total is 146. Then in these 3 years the middle year is 1998. So write, okay, 146 in that particular year. Then we leave, okay, 97. Then we have to consider 1998, 1999 and 2000. Then 58 plus 43 plus 57, then the total is 158. Then the middle year is 1999, so 158. Then leave 98, okay, 1999, 2000, okay, 2001. Okay, we have to consider these 3 year sales. Then 43 plus 57 plus 98. Then these 3 years total is 198. That will be written, okay, in the year 2000 row, okay, 198. Then leave 1999. Then consider 2000, 2001 and 2002. Then these 3 years total we need. So 57 plus 98 plus 100. Then these 3 years total is 255. That will be written, okay, in these 3 middle year is 2000, okay, 1. So 255. Then leave, okay, 2000. Then consider only 2001, 2002, 2003. Then these 3 years total we need. So 98 plus 100 plus 120. Then middle of these 3 years are 2002. Then the total is 318. Then leave 2001. Only consider, okay, 2002, 2003 plus 2004. Then 100 plus 120 plus 150. Then the total is 370. Okay, then leave 2002, then 2003, 2004, but okay, 2005 is not there. Then our 3 yearly moving totals, okay, ends here only. So put, okay, dash mark on the last year row. Then last step is 3 yearly moving averages. Okay, then first we have to see in which row we have numbers. In the first year, it means 1995, okay, we don't have any 3 yearly moving totals, so leave that row, okay, then dash. Best way of calculation of this is, okay, 3 yearly moving averages will be found out, okay, by dividing, okay, it by 3. Here 194 is there, okay, take an example. In the year, okay, the 3 yearly moving total is 194, that will be divided by 4 because they asked 3 yearly moving averages. So 194 divided by 3, you will get the answer 65. That is written in the 65. Then 166. Okay, in the year 97, 166 is the 3 yearly moving total. So 166 divided by 3. Then the final answer is 54. In the year 98, the total is 146. Divided by 3, then you will get 49. In the same manner, you have to calculate 3 yearly moving average of that. Okay, 158 divided by 3, then you will get 53. 198 divided by 3, then you will get 66. 255 divided by 3, you will get 85. 318 divided by 3, you will get 106. 370 divided by 3, you will get final answer, that is 122. Okay, and some more problems will be solved on these concepts, that is 3 yearly, 4 yearly and 5 yearly in the next class. Okay, thank you.